FM3 today anyway, that's fine. But I wanted to keep people posted and let you know how long or how quick things take to get sorted with the Iridium, because I guess that's important. Love this loop. It's quite a simple thing. So it's just this. You haven't even liked it, Jake. Hey Brandon, how you doing? Things are going okay? Just sitting down and playing a little bit of chilled music. Let me know if anyone's got any questions in here. Looks like it's just us for now. Jack, I've got another analog thing that is coming. People have been asking me to do a kind of review of it, the simplifier. I don't know when it will be arriving, to be fair. These are Bayer Dynamic DT100s. The Iridium is definitely a really cool thing, as long as it works. So we'll see if they can get it fixed, or a replacement, and I'll report back on that. But I think they've got a 2-year warranty at least, so that's kind of good. Slapback delay on my voice. Is that still there if I get in close? I think the simplifier is actually fully analog as well, if that is a thing. I'm hoping their service is good. I've been told it is. Yeah, it's probably the room reverb. Sorry. Have I got this on? It's on cardioid mode. Hi Ujwal, how are you doing? Benjamin, this has got Seth Lover pickups in them. Is that the thing? Seymour Duncan Seth Lovers? Sorry. They're quite hot, but you can back them off a bit. Hey, Michael. With the FM3 Bashar, I've not really scratched the surface of it, by which I mean I've not taken off the scratch-proof cover on the screen. What I actually mean is that I've really just started to dabble with it, and I'm really impressed. Is it worlds better than any other modeler? I wouldn't say so necessarily. But who knows? Yes, Brandon, I think maybe that's an important thing, but it does have a presence control and a resonance control. So, I don't know, maybe that'll be enough that you've got enough ability to tweak it that it doesn't matter so much. Awesome, that should be good. Am I saying your name right, Mikhail, or is it just Michael? But I don't think there'd be that many people that'd be disappointed with the FM3. I think the only thing, it might take you a while to get your head around some of the menus, if you're like me. But is it worlds better than anything else? Not necessarily, but it is a decent unit. Seems well built. And I'm enjoying playing with it. The delays and reverbs, I can say, sound really, really cool to me. Just what I like. So, you know, I really enjoy them. Ibanez semi-hollow, under 500. I would suggest Ibanez for that price. It's stopped passing signal, basically. Aiden, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Oh, duplicate the HX Stomp synth tone. Do you mean the weird, like, Pat Metheny style one? Like the octave up. No, I think I've read in some of my comments that people have had one go kaput. You know, there was that video where I think I called it something like, I hope this never happens on a gig, because during a recording, basically it shot out like this loud sound and then just sounded like digital kind of, you know, like a modem setting up or whatever. So yeah, that happened in the past, but it's just stopped sending signal for whatever reason. This is the FM3, yeah. But I did read in some comments, you know, that's blown up people's speakers, which is obviously not good. Yeah, I've heard that Strymon support is good, so we'll see, won't we? Hopefully they will be good. They don't really even care or know who I am, so I'm not getting any special treatment, which is bad for me, but good for you, because you get to see what it's actually like. Yeah, there is a synth tone that sounds exactly like that run around, so I'll do a video with that at some point when I get hold of it. What am I trying to say? when I get around to tweaking at it. But I did do it quickly and it sounded like it. I'd only just used it. Sorry, that's dogs. I've never played a cheap Gretsch, or any Gretsch actually. If you want to program favourites on it, I would get the Sunset. I think the Riverside was comparatively limited versus the Sunset. I think you'll see in some of my videos that you can basically do what the Riverside does with the Sunset, but not vice versa. I've still got a Sunset. I sold my Riverside. The melody is obviously not programmable, but it's pretty versatile. Yeah, Jonathan, I think that's basically what I think, although it is kind of easy to get lost in some of the menus, and then there's like pages that I know exist but I can't really remember how to get to. I guess it's kind of my issue. Well, I've not heard their album yet because I've been playing guitar all day. I will hear it at some point. I tend to like sort of a handful of songs on each album. It's not like their first album, which was like just all really good tunes. I've never heard of Jet Pedals, no. Yeah, hopefully that's the case, Aiden. Although in America it's probably better. I think there's stock issues in this country. Jake, are you saying it's crap? What's wrong with it? The melody is ever so slightly different to the Dude. I think it's got slightly less gain. Oh, that doesn't sound positive, Will. I'd say it's more versatile than the Dude, but I think I marginally prefer the Dude. I mean, there's probably a few good songs in there still, hopefully, right? Yeah, if you're in Australia, I'm imagining... Well, I mean, once this is all over, though, it's not going to be an issue, is it? But it's just at the moment that people are struggling with stock. To be fair, I kind of like concept album type stuff, though. That was kind of one of the things that was attractive about 1975 anyway. They had like a through line through their albums. Yeah, but I guess that was always kind of if you listen to their kind of EP stuff, that was kind of full of that anyway. Go for it. I'll stop playing for a sec. Awesome. Hopefully there's something useful in there for you. You're going direct order. But who are you ordering from? I think isn't the new album 22 songs though, so cool. Enjoy the outside. It's nice and sunny where I am today. Are you in the US then? So I guess I could talk about my thoughts on the quad cortex. Awesome, that's cool. I love Eric Johnson, and I just thought there was the little things that I've noticed that he does a lot of things that I think I can sort of explain, but some of it's cool. And I really like his playing. I just didn't think necessarily in that video that he was explaining some of the little ideas. Hey Stephen, how you doing? Thank you for filming that video you playing the other day. I enjoyed seeing that. I've got a Nuniber cab sim coming at some stage. So, right, not you Joel, I know you're a US guy. I was talking about Michael. But it's cool that you're in Nashville. Awesome. Right, so the neural DSP thing. So if you've noticed, like recently, the Line 6 Pod Go launch has been tricky. The Fractal FM3, they took ages and ages to actually get them out, I think. Strymon Iridium, I think they're struggling to keep up with stock orders, and these are all kind of established, quite big companies, I think. So I don't see how a new company with a really tiny deadline is going to bring out all of those on time or, you know, anywhere near schedule. I don't know if does anyone else feel like that's like a... Before all of this happened, I thought it was kind of like a lofty goal anyway, because I think it's like a couple of months now that we'd be expecting them to come out, because it was going to be September. So even back when I put myself on the waiting list, I thought that's probably unlikely. The rest of the year seems full on. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Neural DSP, and you know, like Axe Effects have been in the game, or Fractal Audio, sorry, been in the game for, what is it, nearly 20 years, 15 years, and Line 6 have been doing it for probably more than that. Well, actually, I guess Fractal have probably been doing it for about 10, 15 years, and then Line 6, 20, 25. Can a new company completely smash it and stuff? I know Strymon is made up of staff from Line 6, so it kind of makes sense that the Iridium would be decent. Yeah, so I know they've definitely put out plenty of stuff. And I wouldn't say... I'd say that their advertising and stuff seems to be a little bit... I don't know, what's the word? You know, kind of... I'm trying to think of the word. It's not happening. Ego is one of them, but like hubris. Like they seem to... Obviously there's marketing and sensible marketing and then marketing that works, but I feel like they're saying too many things. It's quite a lot smaller than a gig board, but it is about 2 or 3 times the size of the Stomp. Pretty small, but I think they could have probably fitted more buttons on it. Is Dark Glass a big company? I don't really know. I thought they were sort of vaguely kind of niche in the kind of metal world, but obviously I could be completely wrong about that. And also I think the modelling thing, as soon as you put a screen and all that kind of stuff on a device, and kind of the editing part of it, you know, like the online editor, screen editor. Yeah, so Doug is that person, but like to make pedals is a bit different to making an entire modeler, I feel. Could be wrong, again. And it'd be interesting, I'm on that wait list, so... That's basically what I felt, Stephen. So one of the things that people said was, yeah, but they're in like a deeper editing menu. But when you're new to the unit, it's kind of tricky to figure out how you get there or how you don't. So you just end up on those pages by accident, kind of sometimes. And they don't look that different to the normal pages. But yeah, that's cool. I've never played a Boss GT anything, and probably never will. And the thing is, also, Stephen, I'm not really going into that level of detail, to be honest. Yeah, it's got those inversions that I included in the video, Joe. And yeah, Michael, I think that's probably a common feeling, and so I think that realistically they could put in a mode where they don't have to use all that stuff, you know, say I want it in simple mode or whatever. Cheers, Will, catch you soon. You know, I don't personally, not initially want to experiment with diodes and stuff, so I'd happily turn it to simple mode. The way I've laid it out is that it's got the, like that, in D major. Are you confident to say that, Brandon? The thing that I find really difficult with the Boss stuff is their menus are just tricky. Yeah. I sort of agree with you again on that, Stephen. Did I update the Iridium firmware? Yeah, I tried that, it didn't work. So it's gone back to Anderton's at the moment anyway. I think probably the GT100 and GT1000, there's no reason I'd expect they don't sound and aren't capable of sounding pretty decent. I've heard loads of, or the demos sound good. Carlos, I never do any tone shaping in post. I feel like it'd be a little bit dishonest if people are coming to hear how the things sound. What's an ISO cap? Oh, what you mean, like a box? Yeah, a high cut filter is kind of a good thing, I think, to have on any cab sim. On the FM3 stuff though, I do find that if you don't edit too much, things tend to sound quite good anyway, similar to the HX Stomp. I always find with the Helix and HX Stomp, some of the things that other people do that are tweaking stuff, you know, like putting on loads of compressors and EQs, to me doesn't really make it sound any better. Yeah, you've got the ideal as well. You've got authentic and ideal. But the issue, Rasta, is that when you go deeper in, when you're like first using the unit, it just stays on that page, doesn't it? And then next time you come back to the amp, it's kind of still on that deep edited page. It's just a little bit tricky, I think, if you're editing on the device itself. Initially, anyway. Yeah, Funkmaster, I had that issue one time as well. Do I think that amp modelers have that software simulators don't? Well, it's more that software simulators have latency. That's the reason I don't use it. That's kind of what I do most of the time, Lee, although I don't use a fuzz for all of it, but that's kind of what I was doing earlier on today, right? I think. there's any other questions, jump in with them. Just trying to stay a bit relaxed with this. I've run the Iridium into like a PA on a little gig a couple of times. I don't have a power cab. I can't remember, did I run the Iridium into an FRFR in that video that I did about FRFRs? I might have run the Iridium into this. I think generally you'd get a good response just because the Iridium doesn't tend to have a low woofy end. You should just chop the side off of it, Jake. Or get a bigger board, get a Schmidt array. Oh, okay, you are talking about a different tone altogether. Send me a link or something. Hey Kevin, how you doing? I think possibly you might want a bit of tone shaping or something if you were using the Iridium into an FRFR speaker. You know, some of the things like the global EQ are kind of decent. Yeah, Brandon, that was one of my kind of favourite sounds on the PRS S2. I used to run that with it, always with a push-pull switch, and this guitar here does a split. But yeah, the Ibanez, that kind of middle position or the in-between positions, sounds that I really, really like, or historically have. Yeah, you built your own pedal board as well, didn't you, Kevin? I'm playing the FM3 Kevin and also the D'Angelico. You'll really like Jonathan Kreisberg, Stephen. He's like a mix between Pat Metheny and Pat Martino, sort of. I don't know why I chose two Pats then. Yeah, you'll love his playing. Check out I Fall in Love Too Easily. Oh, that link hasn't come through, Lee, so you might have to send it on like a video or something. You might also like My Favorite Things. Or Body and Soul as well, his version of that's incredible. But yeah. He's got some of my favourite kind of jazz tone and picking and just everything about his playing I really like. yeah, he's got some cool original stuff as well. There's a song called 20 something as well. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, if you like the I think you'll like the melody. If you like the dude, it's supposedly the driver's a cross between the dude and the animal. But I think it's got way more sound in it than I've even shown, to be fair. Have you heard of Mike Marino, Stephen? So, Stephen, funny you should mention that. I've been chatting to David Beebe a little bit, who I know of through the Guitar Hour podcast, but I think he's a Fractal lad, and he was asking me about some of the FM3 stuff. He dropped in on one of these chats, which was super cool. But yeah, I saw Jonathan Kreisberg on that the first time he was on it. Hey Felipe, I'm good, how are you doing? Musician's friend interview of EJ. Right, I'll get that up so that I remember it. Mike Marino, you'll dig. You try and think of a tune. Oh, Stella by Starlight. He's done an incredible version of that. There's a live video where he plays Stella. It's one of the best versions I've ever heard of it. The program's about all sorts of things, Brandon, but I would say more about playing. It's sort of Tom Quayle, David Beebe, and a couple of other guys just getting in a room and playing. That was what it used to be when I used to watch it. I need to check it out again, actually. But yeah. The Fullerton 2. I put the delays and reverbs last in my chain generally. Do you want an honest opinion on the torpedo captor, Stephen? I did happen to have one in my house for a second. No, I don't have anything negative to say about it. I had one in my house because me and Jake happened to know someone who had a prototype of one, and it's pretty straightforward and does what it says on the tin. I think for people like who are thinking about maybe getting an aux, I know that's quite an expensive piece of gear. I think it makes sense for that sort of thing. So Stephen, I had a bit of a thing, because they were talking about Joe Rogan moving away from YouTube, and I had a bit of a kind of existential crisis this week where I was thinking, like, I don't really want to be a channel who's just putting like stuff in front of your face all the time, like, oh, here's the 10th tube screamer this year that I've been paid to show you. Like, I think it seems a little bit strange to me, because I don't know, I tend to have to buy most of the gear that I show you guys, if that's even what you want on the channel, but the idea of getting paid to show you stuff, I think seems a little bit weird, because to me the idea that you would go and talk to someone or whatever, or follow their channel, would be that they'd actually give you maybe an opinion, or they've got a preference on stuff they like, or yeah, I don't know. From seeing one demo of a thing that a person is paid to do, to me is not a strong sell. That was one of the things that annoyed me about sort of the Boss MS3 demos. Like, that's supposed to be like the centerpiece of your gear. So if someone's just paying you to do a demo of it, and you do one demo of it and then that's it, to me that doesn't really show that you're using the product particularly, or whatever. But no one's really asking me to do paid demos, so it's not a problem that I have, is it, I guess? It also happened with the JHS Legends pedals, Stephen. What would you define as clickbait video title, Lee? But yeah, the GHS Legends videos, there was a load of them. But also an issue that I had with the JHS ones was that they weren't disclosing that they're paid demos either. So that's slightly even more dodgy. I might send you a Facebook message, Lou. I don't know, it feels a little bit irresponsible to me. Somehow, I don't know. Like, I get some people do it for a living. It's basically my only source of income, but so-and-so shocked me. Yeah. I don't know, does it work? Do you click those videos? If you click those, then I guess it works. I try to be a little bit funny if I do a title like that. You know, like I put, you need to learn this legato lick. Does FM3 do bass tones? That's a good question, Sean. Someone else might be able to answer that. Let me have a look. It seems like some people are doing it. I mean, I've been accused of making clickbait videos when I just said that I disagreed with someone. And I used the name that I disagreed with in the title, and someone said that that was clickbait, but I was just talking about an idea that they put out there. So to me, that didn't feel like clickbait, but yeah, I don't know. So Sean, apparently they do bass tones. As someone who's on YouTube and stuff, I guess it's kind of difficult to get people to watch your stuff sometimes, but I think you just have to stay at it, I guess. I don't know. Tell me if my videos are clickbait. That'd be something I could try and avoid doing. The thing that annoys me most is, you know, that you've just got whole channels that are made up of someone holding up, you know, like a product like this. And, you know, they're all paid videos. I don't know. Yeah, you're not wrong, Lee. But also I think some of these people don't seem to be hurting for money. Yeah. The other thing that frustrates me is seeing things like, oh, this one thing completely transformed my playing or whatever, when I think most of us guitarists realise that all of the guitar stuff is like a bit of a slog, you know, like you're not going to learn all the modes in 10 minutes, not in my opinion anyway. So those sort of things annoy me. I don't think Rhett Scholl's the worst, but sometimes he's done it, hasn't he? But yeah, it's actually one of his videos that I sort of did a response to, just saying why I think Rhett Scholl is wrong about this thing, and I got accused of clickbait. Yeah. I guess maybe like the videos where I say I was wrong about a thing, is that clickbait? I don't know, because it's generally I'm just trying to find a thing that I was actually wrong about, because I wanted it to be like a sort of like keeping a check on the things that I say on the channel. Maybe the capitalizing words thing. How many blocks do I fill? Let me just look at this one. I think I've got 7 here. I think there's a limit to, it depends on your audience as to what you want to actually put in guitar lessons. Like, I think I'm pretty terrible at any sort of teaching stuff. So I generally just try and talk around a concept, but yeah. But then, yeah, I think it just depends on what you're looking for from a guitar channel. Like, I happily watch a lot of Rhett stuff. Yeah, I think maybe Michael's got a point. I think the word clickbait means something different now, potentially. Right, so if it doesn't say in the title what the video is actually about, so if it's this one thing changed my playing, rather than saying this one thing changed my playing brackets, I don't know, spread triads or whatever. Or, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky, isn't it? But I do see people have, people do seem to dislike it, I think. But then those are massive channels that get way more views than I do. And I can put up the most clickbaity title ever and it doesn't work for me. Oh, the other thing that people really didn't like was when I put up the neural DSP stuff. Yeah, I've not really been speaking for very long on online, I mean. The thing that, so what did Adam Neely did a thing like, is this the worst jazz solo ever, which seemed a little bit negative. Stephen, I can't possibly comment on that. My question is, how much money does one need to be satisfied? I don't know anything about what the state of these people's finances are, but to me. Well, Michael, I wasn't paid for those demos. But I think that's, so I guess maybe I'm getting to the stage where some people might ask me to feature stuff, maybe, but I doubt it. But the idea was that if someone offered me a pedal and payment, what I would try and do is just get them to give me 2 pedals and then give away the other pedal. Maybe that would be a way that I could feel okay about compensation for whatever I've done. I don't know. Trying to work out what makes sense in that realm. But also, I don't want 24 different drive pedals that I've demoed on the channel. For me as a guitarist, I want sort of a few that are actually decent. Sorry, that was a Michael Ask answer for that one. But I think the other issue is that probably no one would know who my channel was. No one would know who my channel was if I wasn't including the gear in it. So it's a bit of a different, difficult thing maybe. But then there's channels like Jens Larsen, who's all about like education stuff, isn't it? So but yeah, in terms of demos and stuff, I guess, so the thing hopefully that I'm trying to get across is that the things that I like, you'll see me do lots of stuff with. So like the Dude, for instance, happens to be my favourite drive pedal. So you're just going to see me use it a lot through kind of inspiration. The same as the Tate Effects Antares, which I bought off of him at a guitar show in Birmingham. And, you know, like I did that demo earlier in the week of the plumes with the Tate Effects. Obviously, no one's ever going to appreciate me doing that demo from Earthquaker Devices, but I don't know. It felt kind of honest, and it felt like something I sort of wanted to do at the time. So I don't know, let me know if that sort of thing's useful or not. But personally, if I know that someone likes a certain tube screamer or whatever, and then they've got this new thing that they wanted to try, you know, I think it makes sense to sort of review it alongside that thing that you already liked, maybe. Don't know. Let me know if that was a useful way to demo a pedal or not. But mainly what I do, I buy quite a lot of second-hand pedals and stuff just to try them out, as Jake can attest to, because he's got a bunch of them. But things that I don't really like, I tend to not put on the channel. But I could do, I don't really want to do negative reviews, but I could do reviews why I explain why that thing's not particularly for me. I guess I did that with the Friedman as well, BOD or whatever. But I think maybe it's just going to annoy manufacturers. But since, I don't know, I don't really need their help. That's a dog. That's a question for you guys then. If you've got things that you would like to see from me in a demo video, tell me what the format should be. I've already pretty much decided that I don't want to take money for doing pedal demos. But yeah, tell me what you think. What should the format be, or should I just carry on doing exactly what I'm doing? Yes, Chris, I can do it right now. Cool, that's cool, Nithawk. Just tell me things that you'd like that I do, or if there's things that I don't like I do. Right. So, Christopher. Do you... Sorry, that's a dog. Hey, Doris Val. Thank you. Hopefully there's some stuff you'll enjoy on here. Chris, so I know you're working on 40 mile tone at the moment. So I'm going to pick an F major triad. F, A, C. Here. That's what I think is useful, Lee. Like seeing someone's actual journey with the product. Although, you know, no one's going to pay me for it, but if I'm going to put a thing in front of you and say this is a thing that I use, I guess it makes sense for me to tell you that I've used it for a while or whatever, and the things that I like about it. But again, it's not going to want, no one's going to pay me to do it, or whatever. So Chris, F, A, C here, yeah? What an inversion means is that you're going to put the bottom note at the top, basically. So F, A, C, F, is the first inversion. Does that make sense? Tell me if you're following me. And there's a second inversion, which would be putting the A, the A at the top. So you hear the order of notes go up. Head rush, I've got the gig board. I've put my presets in a folder which you can get access to for £3 if you want to. But I think there's some cool tones in there. I like the way you can just use loads of amps at the same time. The presets are in there, yeah. So F, A, C, that's the root inversion, because you've got the root in the bass. First inversion, move through, so A, C, F. Second inversion, C, F, A. Does that make sense? It's not really caged, no, Chris. Not the same kind of concept. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe it is. It gets you those shapes, I guess. So I was doing a spread triad earlier. So it's the same concept. The spread triad is F, C, A, right? Is that right? Yeah. And then I'm moving up to the next A, F, C. Does that make sense, Chris? If not, we can talk on WhatsApp if I need to explain it properly. And then if you had seventh chords, you'd have an extra inversion, right? Because you've got an extra note that you could start the chord from. So if you've got an F major 7, F, A, C, E, you could put the E in the bottom, so you'd have a third inversion, yeah? It's one of the key things to Sean Lane's sound and also Eric Johnson's. Sorry, Chris, that should have been explained. But so imagine you've got 1, 3, and 5 of the note. The first the root inversion is 1, 3, 5. Then the first inversion would be 3, 5, 1, and then the next would be 5, 1, 3. Yeah, if you've got it in a normal triad inversion. That's normal Nitwalk. I think don't worry too much about progress. Just try and enjoy each moment on the guitar. if you focus too much on progress, I think you can be a bit disheartened by stuff. I never had an online teacher or a teacher. I had a teacher for piano, but it depends on your goals, really. I think some people really benefit from a teacher, others don't. There's plenty of really good self-taught guitarists out there. There's plenty of really great guitarists that had teachers, so who knows? I think there's also quite a wealth of kind of online, like, if I was a guitarist learning today, I don't think there's anything that I couldn't learn from YouTube. You know, there's some really good kind of solid teaching on YouTube, is my opinion. So I don't know. But in terms of progress, I think it makes sense to have like short-term goals and stuff. But I think it's more important to just try and enjoy each moment rather than and yeah, just learn one little thing at a time. It's basically the way that works for me. Don't try not to get too bogged down with all of the things that supposedly you have to know, because as it happens, you don't have to know everything to make decent music. Some of the players I know that don't necessarily know, all sorts of crazy stuff, still get plenty of gigs and still play plenty of gigs. That's the same thing, isn't it? Right, anyway, clearly I'm getting tired. Right, thank you everyone for stopping by. I'm going to stop streaming for now. And what's the video tomorrow? Stuff that I've been wrong about. But anyway, I'll catch you soon for another one of these. Thank you for dropping by again. And if you could like and subscribe, that'd be cool. Thank you for everyone who asked the question. It helps me to get through these things. And yeah, see you soon. Cheers.